October 4th, 2017. Hey guys, this is Rick here with Fear Not. And obviously, by now, unless you live under a rock, everyone knows about the Las Vegas shooting. As of right now, 59 are dead, 530 are injured. They still believe that only Stephen Paddock did the shooting. I say only still believe just because I have my own suspicions that this wasn't a one person deal. Um, just the number of guns that were collected in the room, the way that things were positioned in the pictures. Because normally when you storm a room, you don't touch a bunch of stuff. You want to leave things the way they are so that they can figure out what was going on. When they got into the room to begin with, the shooter, 64-year-old Stephen Paddock, was already dead. So if he killed himself the moment that they were approaching, because I know that there's reports that he had cameras set up so he could see when people were coming down the hallways or something, whatever. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video was that there was this article posted on Yahoo, and it's just going down the list of the names of all the victims, or of a bunch of them. And it's really sad. The saddest thing that I've been able to find as a prepper in this situation, other than the fact that all of these people died for nothing, as of right now, we have no idea why, but basically nothing. They're just at a concert listening to music and they get, you know, shot for nothing. The saddest thing as a prepper is that, as preppers, we want to make sure that we're ready for what we can be ready for. Some of us train for the 99%, which is, you train for what's most likely, a fire in your house, getting robbed, getting in a car accident, things like that, where those are the most likely things to happen. Some of us might plan to be prepared for a shooting, but we're probably not planning for something on this caliber. And when we go to a concert, I don't know how all concerts are, but I know that a lot of big events, you go to a sports game, whatever, you have to go through metal detectors. You have to have your bag searched now. I mean, there's so much you have to do that you can't take your firearms with you. You can't take, it would be really suspicious for you to walk in with a go bag. It would be really weird for you to walk in with a fully stocked medical kit. And you're like, well, I never know. I might need it. You can't just go into big events like this with something super obvious. It makes you look like you're potentially a bad guy. And you're like, well, I'm just ready for in case something bad happens and I got to help people, or I got to help my family or help myself, or, something like that. So what sucks in this situation is that these people were in a place they couldn't defend themselves. They couldn't, the security, whether the security was good or bad, doesn't matter. Because in a situation like this, the shooter shot from a building that was not part of the event. It just was overlooking the event. There's absolutely nothing any of these people could have done differently as far as being in the wrong place. There's nothing that they could have done to prepare. There's nothing that they could have done um, to defend themselves, more than likely. I mean, unless they just stood up when all these people around them were getting killed and just like waved at the shooter and said, hey, shoot me. There's nothing that they could have done different to make sure that they weren't one of the dead. So the most important prep, you know, I haven't gotten into it too much in this channel yet, and that's probably my fault. And as this channel continues to grow and post content, it needs to be more prominent. The most important prep that I believe anybody can have is being right with Christ. If you have a different view on faith or a religion, that's up to you. I believe 100% the most important thing you can do as a prepper is to be right with Jesus. Because at the end of the day, there's only so much we can do to prepare. At the end of the day, we really don't have control over anything. We don't have control whether we wake up in the morning, whether we take another breath, whether we live through the day. We can do things to be ready. We can train ourselves for medical training or gun training or having the proper insurance, saving our money appropriately so we can get through bad storms, or we have food set aside and water set. I mean, there's stuff we can try to do, but we can't control anything from something like this happening. I know that people can push for gun control. I get that. But in Europe, they've got people attacking people with knives on a regular basis, running people over with vehicles on a regular basis. People will figure out a way to kill people. Will they kill as many? Maybe not necessarily all at once, but crazy people kill people. That's it. And this was a type of situation where the shooter did not seem like someone who would do something like this. He had no bad history. He had no history of aggression. He had no religious affiliations that they've known yet, no political affiliations that they know of yet. I mean, he was basically like a complete gray man. He didn't fit. He just hid in the background. Like if he was in, like if you did like a poll for stuff, he wouldn't be one of the leaders sticking out that's really aggressive and like, oh yeah, we got to do something about the Democrats. We got to do something about the libertarians. We got to do something about the Tea Party. He wasn't one of those people where he's up against the Christians or the Muslims. He just hid in the background. His profile was a lot like what preppers want. He didn't stick out. Excuse me. Turns out he's crazy. Something broke. I don't know. So at the end of the day, this is a terrible situation, and it sucks because me in my head trying to go through it and think, well, what would I have done if I was there? There's only so much you can do. You respond to the best you can. Maybe you run away from the direction that everybody else is going, just thinking, okay, if I break off from the group, their goal is to shoot the most people. They won't shoot at me because I'm one person or I'm two person if my wife and I are running. I mean, there's stuff like that, but it's still at the end of the day, if you're one of the people that got shot first, what are you gonna do? Now is the time to get right with God. You don't wait until you need it. You need it right now. This is Rick with Fear Not, and I'll talk to you guys again next time.